Hi, this is Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. For the next few videos, I'm going to walk you through making a bucket hat that, of course, is going to be granny squared. So I'm using the Yarnspirations Flower Power Crochet Bucket Hat as a guide. I'm not following it exactly. They are calling for using Lily's Sugar and Cream and as their yarn, and I'm going to be using my Vanna's Choice, the same yarns that I used to make my bag. I'll link that video up top for you. I'm going to make it the hat to match the bag, but I'm going to be using this, as I said, as a guide. So the sizing of this hat is 21 inches, which I have a small head, so I think that's going to be a little bit too large for me. So I'm going to try to adjust it some. So I'm going to start with the top, which begins with making chaining 4 and then joining into a ring, but I'm going to use a magic circle instead. And then the other change that I'm going to be doing is they're taking it up to 70 double crochets, and I think I'm going to stop at 60 double crochets because I'm also doing a different granny square than what they're calling for in the pattern, and I believe that I'm going to have 11 on each granny square. If I do a granny square that ends with 3 double crochets, I mean. I haven't quite figured out the math part of that, but I think I'm going to stop on the 6th round so that I have 60. So I'm going to take you though through how to do the top of the hat. I'm going to be doing mine in black, but that's going to be too difficult for you to see. So I'm going to demonstrate it in this gray color that I have. I think that'll just be easier for you to see. So starting with the slip stitch. To make a slip stitch, you want to hold the tail in your hand, wrap the yarn around, crisscrossing it over, taking your crochet hook under the first strand, grabbing the second strand, twisting it up to make a circle, and then grabbing that back strand again and pulling it through. Don't let your crochet hook come out. And that creates your knot to hold it all together. And of course my yarn is splitting. Okay, there we go. And now you have your magic circle that you can crochet right into. So it starts with chaining 3 and then making 9 double crochets into the ring. So 1, 2, 3, and then 9 double crochets into the ring. So to make a double crochet, yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops. Pull through the first 2, pull through the second 2, and that's a double crochet. So now our chain 3 counts as 1, and now we have our second one. So that's 2. We're going to be having a total of 10, including our chain 3. So here's our next one. And you can start adjusting your tail, pulling your circle closed a little bit more if you are running out of space. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 6. 7. 8. 9. And then, oh wait a minute, I need 10 starting from there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more. And here's my 10th because I was counting from my chain 3. Okay, now pull your ring closed. So this is what you should have, and get that done, and then I'll come back and I'll meet you in the next part. So now that you have your magic ring and your 10 double crochets, that includes your chain 3, you want to slip stitch to the top chain. So count up 1, 2, 3, and make a slip stitch connecting those together. And now you're joined into a circle. From here, the next step is to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to make another double crochet in that same space. And now make 2 double crochets in each stitch around. So we're going to end up with a total of 20 double crochets. And if you want, at this point, you can use a stitch marker to mark the beginning of your round so that you know when to stop. So here's our next. So 2 double crochets in this spot, and 2 into the next one, come to the next one, 1, 2, 2 into the next one, 2 into the next one. What's the matter, Oreo? I think my husband was trying to sneak by to go back upstairs, and he didn't know what was happening. Okay, and then from here, you're going to slip stitch to your chain 3, and you should have 20 double crochets. And if your circle opens up, just pull that tail again and it'll tighten that up. Okay, so continue on to here, and then I'll meet you for the next step. Okay, once you've done that, you should have 20 double crochets around. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and place your stitch marker. And then you're going to double crochet into that same space. So now you have 2 double crochets in that same chain space, and now in the next one, make 1 double crochet. And now in the next stitch, you're going to make 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then 1 in the next one. I think my voice is lulling Zoe to sleep. 2 in the next. 1, 2. 1 in the next. 2 in the next. Excuse my clock. 1 in the next. 2 in the next. And you're going to continue like that 1 in the next stitch, then 2, then 1, then 2, all the way around, and then join with a slip stitch, and I'll meet you back to join with the slip stitch at the beginning. Okay, and you should have 30 double crochets, and then we're going to join that to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch. So now the next step is again to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the same space as the slip stitch. So and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 double crochet, two spaces. So here's 1, 1, and then 2 in the next one. 1, 2. And then 1 in the next 2. 1, 1, and then 2 in this next one. And then 1 in the next 2. And 2 in the next one. So continue along in that same pattern until you get back to the top. I forgot to put my stitch marker in. Do that now. And I'll meet you back to slip stitch. And when you get to the end of this round, you're going to have 40 double crochets on there. Okay, and I have 40 double crochets, and I'm going to join them together, slip stitch together to the top of my chain 3. And the next round, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Add the stitch marker, double crochet in the same space. And this time you're going to double crochet in each of the next 3 spaces, 1 double crochet. So 1, 1, 1, and then 2 in this next space. 1, 2. And then 1 in each of the next 3. 1, 1, 1, and then 2 in the next. And then 1 in each of the next 3. That's 1, 1, 1, and then 2 in the next one. 1, 2. Okay, so continue along in that round, and when you get to the end, you will have 50 double crochets, and I'll meet you back at the end to slip stitch. Okay, so I'm at the end of the next row, and I have 50 double crochets, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of my chain 3, And then for me, this is going to be the last row because I'm going to stop, like I said, at 60 double crochets, only because I have a smaller head. Like I said, the pattern is written for a hat to be 21 inches. My head circumference is more like 19, so that's why I'm going for the smaller size, and I'm just adjusting this on my own. I could get through this whole thing and have it be totally wrong. We're going to find out, and we'll see. But, you know, if you want to follow the pattern as written, and you'll get a 21 circumference hat from that. Okay, so the next part is to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet into that same space. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 4 spaces. So 1, 1. Zoe's snoring again. 1, 1. And now 2 double crochets. 1, 2. And then 1 in the next 4. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 in the next. One in the next 4. 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2 in the next. Okay, so continue that all the way around, and then like I said, when you get back to the beginning, you will have 60 double crochets, and then that's where I'm going to stop. And then the next part will be making the motifs, which again I'm doing different from the pattern. I'm going to be doing just traditional 3-part granny square, but I'll show you how I'm doing that when we get to that section. Okay, so I'll meet you back at 60. Okay, so now I'm back and I have 60, and I would join with a slip stitch. If you were to continue, you would chain 3, do another double crochet in that same space, and then you would do 5 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 5 stitches. I hope I'm making sense. 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches, and then in the next stitch you would do 2 double crochets, and then in the next 5 you would have 1 double crochet and then 2 in the next, and then that would bring you to your 70 for the pattern. I'm actually, as I said, I'm going to be doing mine in black, so I'm not going to end and cut the yarn here, but I'll be doing that with the black. I'm going to slip stitch and then do a chain 1 to end and cut the yarn, and then I'll be joining this onto the motifs after I make them. So I'll see you in the next video. The next section will be how to make the motifs, and don't be confused when you see that I have a black top to my hat. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you are not subscribed, and I will see you in the next video in part 2 of making our Yarnspirations Flower Power Crochet Bucket Hat.